wild little moment to break down from the Brickyard 400, and it involves Shane van Gisbergen. Yeah, the guy who's been turning heads all season had himself a very strange in-race moment at Indianapolis. Stick around because this one is genuinely one of the odder things you'll see happen inside a Cup car this year. And hey, real quick, if you are a true NASCAR fan like me, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe to the channel. NASCAR Nation News is just getting started. We are pushing for our next subscriber milestone, and it's all about real talk from fans who live this sport every week. All right, let's get into it. So here's what we know. This happened on July 26th during the Brickyard 400. That's the NASCAR Cup Series race at Indianapolis. And the headline here is pretty simple on the surface. Shane van Gisbergen had to try and reinstall his own steering wheel in the middle of the race. Now, let's slow down on that for a second because that's not something you hear about every week. So, what actually caused this? According to what's been reported, the issue traced back to the steering wheel itself. Specifically, it wasn't adjusted correctly. Now, in a Cup car, the steering wheel isn't just bolted on and left alone. Drivers actually remove and reinstall their wheels regularly. It's how they get in and out of these cars in the first place. But this time, something wasn't lined up the way it needed to be. And that's when things got interesting. Van Gisbergen made the call to take the wheel off. And this happened as he was exiting pit road. Think about that for a second. He's rolling away from his pit stall, trying to get back up to speed and rejoin the race, and instead he's dealing with his steering wheel while the car is moving. That is not an ideal spot to be fixing an equipment issue. But here's the thing. It didn't go smoothly right away. At first, he wasn't able to get the steering wheel back into the correct position. And when you don't have full control of your steering wheel in a race car, exiting pit road, you could probably guess what happens next. He ended up off the racing surface entirely, out in the infield grass. Now let's just sit with that for a moment because it's worth appreciating how tricky that situation actually is. You've got a driver without a properly seated steering wheel trying to both fix the problem and keep the car under some kind of control at the same time. That's the kind of moment that can go from minor hiccup to much bigger problem very quickly. But that's not how this story ended. After that trip through the infield grass, Van Gisbergen was able to get the steering wheel back into place, and once it was properly reinstalled, he drove off. Simple as that. Problem identified, problem handled, and he continued on. Now, let's recap that sequence because it really is a wild little chain of events when you lay it out step by step. It starts with a steering wheel that wasn't adjusted correctly. That leads to Van Gisbergen removing it while exiting pit road. That attempt to fix it didn't work on the first try, which sent him into the infield grass. And then, finally, he gets it locked back into position and gets going again. It's one of those moments that really shows you how much can go wrong with something that seems so small on paper. Steering wheel not being adjusted right. But in a 3,000-pound race car, moving at speed, exiting pit road, that small issue turned into a genuine hands-on repair job done by the driver himself mid-race. So that's the situation with Shane van Gisbergen at the Brickyard 400 on July 26th. A steering wheel adjustment problem, a mid-race removal, a trip through the infield grass, and then a recovery to get back underway.